How's everybody doing today? This is Antonio Moore coming to you from Tone Talks. Appreciate you tuning in today. I wanted to come to you with a short piece because of two news stories that came out today that connect for me. I want to start off by saying I want to give a shout out to Simmons College and the Angela Project and the great Baptist ministers that put that project, that economic empowerment project that commemorated 400 years since the beginning of slavery. And it was a powerful event to speak at. You can check that out on my Facebook and my YouTube, my actual speech there. But I want to jump right into what I actually read today out of Forbes.com and how it connects to what we saw from the iPhone. You know, the iPhone 8 and X came out, and they said that the price of the phone is going to be $999. You know, contextualizing that is important. We live in a world today in which the middle black family is worth $1,700 without the family card. What does it mean that they're willing to set the price at $999? Well, it means everything that I've been telling you for the last year and a half in video, and for the last 3 to 5 years via articles, which is essentially African Americans along with a large chunk of the lower section of white Americans being priced out of this country. Like the whole, when I say African Americans, I mean like our whole like curve of working age families are being cut out and don't even know it. The reason that they're setting that price point is there is a market, and a large market of people that can pay that amount of money. And I don't mean leasing a phone right now. I mean that they can actually buy that phone and deal with the consequence if it's broken, stolen, or anything else. Now, for a lot of people that watch this that have never seen the data before, what I want to do is lay out a context of where the data is at and where we're going. You know, I've said before, white America controls 90% of the wealth. There's $94 trillion in household wealth. We have 2.6%, and the top 20% of black homes, which are largely boomers, have almost 90% of that 2.6. But it's not getting better. I think for a lot of us, that's hard to swallow. We've been sold a bill of goods that diversity is leading to opportunity, that coalitions are actually better for African Americans. But what we actually see, the data is showing that it's getting worse and that wealth is calcifying, as I have told you on numerous occasions before. I've recommended capital in the 21st century. But let's make this a little bit more visual. I want to show you an article right here from Forbes, and what that article is saying is, and the title is that median wealth of black and Latino families could hit zero before the century's end. I firmly believe that 1700 is almost so close to zero in context of what black people aspire towards. Meaning the top 40 to 50% of black people dream of college and home ownership, but to know by fact that actually is a number that's shrinking. You know, I want to share a section of the article. I'll pull it up. By 2053, black households will have a median wealth of zero. It will take Latino households another 20 years to drop to the same level, according to an analysis by Prosperity Now and the Institute for Policy Studies. I should disclose that the Institute for Policy Studies are actually a couple of my friends. You know, I write there. That's inequality.org. You can check out my articles there. They do good work. And essentially, you know, Chuck Collins, Josh Hochschild, for them to say this kind of statement, we have to take that seriously and understand that we are playing right now. That we are out here playing. And it's for those people that don't understand what I mean, you know, between football practice and school shopping, and we're forgetting that we black. And they about to remind us. The reality is the reason that the iPhone is $999 is because they don't care if you can buy it. And I think for a lot of us, we don't get what this means for your children, for your grandchildren, for your retirement, for your potential. This should be an awakening for black America. The fact that this article says that black families will hit zero by 2053, they actually are doing worse than Latino families. I think for so many of us, we've created a false narrative that there is black opportunity in the system. And the system is saying that you need an iPhone to be part of America, and we're not going to give you one no more. The middle black family today is worth $1,700. By 2053, that middle family will be worth zero. Do we understand how that impacts all the things that you keep telling me that you want to do? You want to get married. You want to have children. You want to be able to take care of your parents. You want to be able to save some money. You want to be able to go on vacation. Black America won't be able to do that. Black America really can't do that today. And so, you know, I continue on with this article, and what it kind of shows is much of the things that I've been telling you guys, that, you know, that between 1983 and 2013, the wealth of the median Black and Latino household decreased by 75%, from $7,000 to $1,700, and 50% from $4,000 to $2,000 respectively. So again, it decreased from $7,000 just about for black people in 83 to $1,700 without the family card today. While median white households' wealth rose during the same 83 to 2013 period by 14%, from $102,000 to $116,000. How easy is it to buy an iPhone when you have money in the bank? How easy is it to finance an iPhone when you can leverage assets and money in the bank? Now, if current trends continue, by 2020, median Black and Latino households stand to lose nearly 18% and 12% respectively of the wealth they held in 2013. In the same time frame, median white households' wealth will see an increase of 3%. Put differently, in just under 4 years, median white households are projected to own 86% of the wealth of black households. Stop telling me that there are white poor, and start understanding that almost all of black families are working poor. That is the wealth reality of the current dynamic. And companies are saying, I don't care. There will be no $200 iPhone for you. And I think for a lot of us, what we've gotten used to is renting everything in our life. I mean, you renting the house that you thought you bought, really. You know, so many people didn't have flood insurance. And I'm not saying it's just black people didn't have flood insurance, but the ratio for us is way higher. So many people have a house where you don't have the right protections for you haven't checked all your trees and your bushes and everything. And then it stumbles on other people's houses. And it causes issues on their house. And what's your answer when they say, I need you to fix my house? You say, I don't have money. That's not going to be good enough. The reality is that you can't have zero and have $1 million dreams. You can't have zero and be American. You can't access American citizenship with $0. So, you know, it's such a trip, because when we start to look at the iPhone, it kind of is a trailblazer, and it sets a trend for what people are willing to pay. So, you know, they have this great chart I'm going to pull up where it compares the price of the iPhone 8, which is the iPhone X, versus the Samsung Note versus the Moto. And what you have to understand is that the iPhone X is going to set a price point that everybody else is going to follow. And they just gonna go higher. And the reason they can go higher is because there's a chunk of white people who can pay that money. Are you following me? There's a tragedy upon us, a hurricane of sorts, an economic hurricane. I'm a forecaster and telling you that it's nearly here. This isn't about 2053. This is about 2017. And the reality that if the middle black family doesn't have enough, how can it dream to be more? I think back to the topic that I was speaking on at Simmons College, this powerful black college that was raised from the rubble in Louisville, you know, Kentucky. And I was given the topic of, will education close the racial wealth gap? And fundamentally, what you see is, as I pull up a chart from the work of Professor Sandy Garrity and Professor Dark Hamilton, Umbrellas Don't Make It Rain. You can Google the whole PDF. What it shows is that white high school dropouts have more wealth than black college graduates. What that means is that blackness carries with it a anchor. an anchor of wealth. And whiteness carries with it a balloon that carries you up. There's a reason that iPhones are $1,000. And it attaches very tightly to the reality that white people are getting wealthier. How can we compete if we're getting poorer than $1,700? We're going from $1,700 to zero, and they're going from 105 to 117 or whatever it was. Think about it. You can't do this individually. This is a collective movement. This is an awakening that I'm trying to bring you upon. An awakening that makes you understand the reality of what blackness left behind, what slavery left behind, what Jim Crow left behind, and what you have to do that moves beyond buying kids school clothes, which I commend you for, which moves beyond taking them to whatever little practice, soccer and football. It has you start to awaken to the reality that if you don't fix this, none of that will matter. None of it will matter. I just wanted to come to you today and just show you, this is atrocious that this article is showing that we're on the path for the middle family to be worth zero, which effectively means that Black America is on the path to economic catastrophe. Thank you for tuning in. This is Tone Talks. Subscribe, donate at tonetalks.org. Let's keep this dialogue going. Let's keep spreading this. For the iPhone to be raised up to $9.99 and for black folks to be looking at zero, we should be up in arms about this and really just starting to push government, push community, push ourselves to look at this thing in a whole new light. Thank you.